The Leaning Tower of Pisa. It's one of the most recognizable structures on Earth, drawing millions of visitors each year. But this iconic tower has a problem. It leans, and not just a little. The tower's tilt has been a concern for centuries, capturing the attention of engineers and historians alike. It is a symbol of Italy and a popular tourist destination, representing both beauty and architectural curiosity. The tower began to lean during its construction in the 12th century, almost as soon as the first few floors were completed. The foundation was built on soft ground, which was not stable enough to support the structure. This unstable ground caused the tower to settle unevenly, leading to its famous tilt. Over time, the lean became more pronounced, raising fears about the tower's stability. By the late 20th century, the tower was in danger of collapsing, prompting urgent action. Something had to be done to prevent a disaster. In 1990, the Italian government closed the tower to the public, fearing for the safety of visitors. Engineers were tasked with finding a way to save it. This was a challenge of monumental proportions. The engineers had to find a way to stabilize the tower without destroying its historic integrity, a delicate balancing act. They had to be very careful, as even the smallest mistake could be catastrophic. A wrong move could cause the entire structure to crumble, erasing centuries of history in an instant. The first attempts to stabilize the tower focused on counterweights, a method that seemed promising at the time. Engineers placed hundreds of tons of lead weights on the north side of the tower, hoping to counteract the lean. This helped to reduce the lean slightly, but it was far from a complete fix. However, it was not a permanent solution, and the tower continued to pose a risk. Another idea was to freeze the ground beneath the tower, a technique that had been used in other engineering projects. This would have stabilized the foundation by making the soil more solid and less likely to shift. However, it was considered too risky due to the potential for unforeseen consequences. Freezing the ground could have damaged the tower's structure, making the situation even worse. The engineers also considered using cables to anchor the tower to the ground, a method that had been successful in other contexts. This idea was ultimately rejected after careful consideration. It would have been too difficult to install the cables without damaging the tower, which was already fragile. The engineers were running out of options and growing increasingly frustrated. They needed to find a solution that was both effective and safe, a challenge that seemed almost insurmountable. Time was running out for the Leaning Tower of Pisa, and the pressure to find a viable solution was immense. Finally, a team of engineers came up with an innovative solution: soil extraction. This method was both groundbreaking and highly technical, requiring precise calculations and a deep understanding of the soil mechanics beneath the tower. The plan was to carefully remove small amounts of soil from beneath the north side of the tower. This delicate operation needed to be executed with extreme caution to avoid any sudden shifts. This would cause the tower to settle back into a more upright position. The engineers had to ensure that the soil removal was done evenly to prevent any further tilting. It was a risky plan. Removing too much soil could cause the tower to collapse in the opposite direction. The margin for error was incredibly small, but the engineers were confident in their calculations. They had spent countless hours running simulations and double-checking their data. They began the soil extraction process in 1999. This marked the beginning of a meticulous and carefully monitored operation. The soil extraction process was slow and painstaking. Each step had to be measured and executed with precision to ensure the stability of the tower. Engineers used special drilling equipment to remove the soil. They worked very carefully, making sure not to disturb the surrounding structures. They monitored the tower's movement constantly. Advanced sensors and monitoring equipment were used to track even the slightest shifts. Over the course of several months, the engineers removed about 77 tons of soil. This gradual process required patience and unwavering attention to detail. Slowly but surely, the tower began to straighten. The results were promising, and the tower's tilt was noticeably reduced. It was a testament to the ingenuity of the engineers. Their innovative approach and dedication had successfully stabilized the historic structure. By 2001, the Leaning Tower of Pisa was no longer in imminent danger of collapsing. The tower had been straightened by about 45 centimeters. This returned it to its 1838 inclination. The soil extraction process was a success. The tower was now stable. It was expected to remain stable for at least 200 years. The Leaning Tower of Pisa is still standing today, thanks to the hard work and ingenuity of engineers. It is a testament to human ingenuity and perseverance. The tower is once again open to the public. It continues to attract visitors from around the world.